Hey guys, welcome to my legal classes. This is Ganesh Pujari, and in my previous class we have discussed in detail about the term recognition. In my today's class I am going to discuss 8 different types of recognition in just one slide. Why are we wasting time? Let's get into the only slide that I have on types of recognition. There are 8 types of recognitions I have discussed here, in which the first 2 types I am discussing together because they are quite interconnected. Now, the first being de facto, the second being de jure. De facto means, as a matter of fact, there the recognition for the state is available, but if you see in accordance with law, the recognition for that state is not available. Whereas when we are studying de jure recognition, there the recognition as a matter of fact is also available, as well as the recognition as accordance with the law is also available. Remember, one of the important requirement or essential to become UN member is there should be de jure recognition available with that particular state. Now, as of today, that is March 2020, if you need example for de facto recognition, the states like Bangladesh, Israel, Taiwan, Arab Republic, all these have got de facto recognition, but they don't have de jure recognition from many of the UN members. That is why they are not yet eligible to become the UN member. That is one important aspect you need to remember. Along with that, there can be a question on the difference between de facto and de jure or any other ways. So I am going to make an independent video just on de facto and de jure recognition, along with multiple case illustrations and other stuff that we will discuss there in detail. The third type of recognition is expressed recognition. If there is a recognition by way of any kind of oral or written communication, then that is known as expressed recognition. It can be via letters, notes, telegrams or statements. I have 2 examples here. The first being the statement of French president to recognize the independence of Algeria on 3rd July 1963, and the second being Japan recognized Korea via Article 12 of Peace Treaty on 8th September 1951. The fourth type of recognition is implied or implicit recognition. Now, in the third type, the most important requirement is there should be oral or written communication to consider something as explicit recognition. Now, what if there is absence of such written or oral communication? We can still, with the action or some interpretation, can prove that if there is any kind of recognition available, in that case that will be considered as implied or implicit recognition. This can happen via bilateral treaties, or maybe sending some diplomats to one state to another state, or if there are any visits available between the states, or if there are any agreements happened between those 2 states, or if there were any talks happened between those 2 states, and if they can be interpreted or action as there is a recognition available, in that case that is considered as implied or implicit recognition. Now, one of the example for that is PM of Israel, that is Shimon Peres, visited Morocco on 21st July 1986 and had a talk with King Hassan II to seek solution for Middle East problems. Now, there is no written communication or there is no like any agreement or something like that, but then he has visited and he had a talk, which is a kind of recognition he has given via his act that he has made towards that particular country. That is how you need to understand this particular type of recognition, that is implied or implicit recognition. The fifth type of recognition is conditional recognition. If any state put some condition before recognizing some state, and if that particular state completes that particular condition, in that case the state which is recognizing the other state is on the basis of condition. So that is called conditional recognition. But here one important aspect we need to remember is conditions can be before giving recognitions. Once after giving recognition, you cannot put any condition. That is one important aspect we need to remember. The sixth type of recognition is individual recognition. Imagine there is one state by name X, and if state Y recognizes state X as a state, in that case that is known as individual recognition. Whereas the seventh type, that is collective recognition, where recognition is made by group of states. In that case, that is known as collective recognition. For example, 5 Asian countries recognized Colombia on 18th April 1975. Now, there are 5 Asian countries and they have all together given recognition to Colombia on 18th April 1975. So that way it is collective recognition. While studying state, we have understood that to consider a place as state, there needs to be few conditions satisfied, like that should have a government, that should have its own territory, that should have its own people, everything. Now, if any state is still not completing all such requirement, even then if there are recognition given to that particular state, then that is called as premature recognition, which is my 8th type of recognition. Here, recognition given before even completion of possessing the requirements of statehood, and for that the example can be recognition of Palestinian state by many of the states in this world. So here they have not yet completed all the requirement to become a state, even then the recognition is given, so it is called as premature recognition. That's it for today. I'm coming up with an independent video on de jure and de facto, and we need to discuss principles of recognition also. All those videos will come in very few days. Thank you so much for subscribing my channel. Please like, share and comment my videos. All the very best for whatsoever purpose you're watching me, and thanks again.